the future is now, and it's really sad because why is Star Trek so accurate? I don't like it. Could we just skip to the
Yeah,
can we skip this part and then World War III and the
they
post-atomic
nailed
horror?
the weather. They nailed the weather on the day of of
Is it?
you
What
know
is the
the
weather in San
arrival
Francisco right now?
in San Francisco. It's someone said that the temperature was in like within like 1 degree Celsius.
Perfect. Well done.
The prediction. I
Let
mean,
me see if I can.
it's like it's not the least predictable weather in the world. It should be said, but yeah.
Let me see if I can verify that because they're arriving August 30th, so 2 days ago. So I need to look at historical slightly, and then I should be able to get hourly weather. Yep. Okay. I don't know what time they arrive, but the low was 59 early in the morning, then it went up to 70 in the mid-afternoon. So if they're anywhere between 60 and 70 Fahrenheit, they nailed it.
Woo.
Which I mean, it's not the hardest prediction ever, but
Yeah.
for San Francisco in the late summer, but you know.
Well, they got the homeless problem pretty well pat down.
By the way, speaking of the homeless problem,
Has that gotten worse
look,
since the
this stream is
90s?
going to be very political. If you don't want that, this isn't the stream for you. How about that California homeless situation with
Yeah.
I thought you were a cool governor. What's up with the breaking up homeless encampments? What's what but that?
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, and it's for
Right.
the Olympics too.
He used to
So-
be cool, but he's changed, man. Actually, don't know what he's done recently other than
Yeah.
Something this episode,
because that was messed up.
in defense of Gavin Newsom, we see a social worker here who's like struggling to do with the best that she has, and well, actually, it's the governor that orders the raid. So thanks, Gavin Newsom. You got Cisco
God, it
killed.
is
None of
Gavin
those
that
terminals,
gets Gabe
though.
Killed. Well,
Just phones.
Gavin, what have you done?
See, we thought he was nice, but he's really a piece of work.
Let's see. California Governor Gavin Newsom issued a directive ordering state officials to take down homeless encampments. Dude, what did they ever do to you?
And we have a migrant crisis, so we just put all these people in like the unwelcome parts of town.
We're also, I don't think we're there in California yet,
Sanctuary
but
cities.
certain parts of the country are absolutely trying to outlaw homelessness straight up.
I mean, here in New York, if a migrant is a single man, he gets kicked out of the shelter after 30 days. And it's like, it's only the families
Isn't
with
Gavin
kids.
Newsom a Sims character?
I don't know, man. What I do know, I don't know. But what
Gavin
I do
Newsom
know
has-
is that they are making it illegal to sleep outside,
Right,
or
which
on
is
public
kind of funny.
land, and
'Cause
also
that's a
not
biological-
building any additional shelters or housing or trying to improve the ones we have.
That's a biological function. So how do you outlaw somebody
Sure.
from sleeping?
They're not even pretending to do the right thing.
Like, I can kind of get the getting rid of the sleeping outside if there's lots of available space. Lots of available safe shelters.
Right, exactly.
But there's not.
We should just all put them in the same part of town, and then that'll get rid of the
And
problem.
we'll build a wall around it.
And we're not going to call it a
It'll
ghetto.
provide sanctuary for the people inside.
It's not a ghetto, though.
Right.
It's a district.
Yes, it's a
that provides
sanctuary district.
Yeah.
Are the sanctuary districts better than what we're actually doing? I mean, at least the people in Star Trek universe are trying something. It's not a good something, but at least they're trying.
Yeah.
Ironically, if it's illegal, then they could get put in a
I had
prison,
that thought
which
when I
is
was
inside.
watching.
I think the problem is that they just stopped caring because they feel
They
like
seem very generous. The welfare state that is provided in the sanctuary district seems very generous.
I mean,
for
it's-
the
Press
people
play
actually get.
in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. I mean, I guess I didn't say
Respect-
that we're watching past tense, but we're watching past tense. You should know that by now.
Respectfully, it's not generous. They get like an omelet and a piece of white bread for
Yeah,
breakfast.
one piece of white
No.
bread. It's not even
So-
toast. They didn't even
I mean,
butter
no,
it.
they.
But it's better than dying out in the sticks.
Yeah, you get your untoasted white bread.
Green seas? What's in Bejour's water? Is it just algae? Maybe Bajoran water is filled with copper or something. Yeah, all this stuff on the Defiant this episode, I kind of don't really care. I mean, it's not bad or anything. I just really into the actual San Francisco stuff. That's like, no, get back to the right.
Right.
The advantages of being an NCO rather than a CO.
It's like, nah, man, I got a station to repair. You guys can, you do your thing. Oh, is this just so Armin can get paid for this episode? Oh, this is totally just he has a contract thing.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Because he isn't relevant to the story. This whole thing with the Nagus, it'll never come up. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Like, doesn't the Nagus have the orb of time or something?
Yeah, he has an orb. He has an orb. He has.
Yeah. The orb of prophecy, I believe, actually.
He has the orb of generosity,
Okay.
as it works out for him anyway.
So, by the way, this is a little bit of corruption going on in this episode. The Nagus has a nephew in jail, and Cisco is like, I owe him one, so yeah, we'll release the nephew.
Well, yeah, it's Cisco. Have you seen the
Um,
rest of DS9? Remember those couple of times he extorted someone and they're like, you can't do that. That's extortion. It's like, yeah, what's your problem?
yeah, but Cisco is just trading favors to win the war. Oh, we're in the war, right, at this point?
No, this is season 3.
Okay.
No, the war is a ways away.
Okay.
They've met the Dominion. I think. Wait,
Okay.
have they even met?
We haven't watched Deep
Nothing
Space Nine
serious,
in
just
a
gone backwards in
long
time 200 years.
Yeah, just some casual time travel. Don't worry about it.
And then, of course, we forget how we did it, so we can't ever do it again.
Chief, I thought you were good at this. Okay, that is
You know what?
extremely inappropriate.
miss
He's
DS9.
pointing a gun at someone and prodding him with the gun. That's a loaded weapon. You can't
Hey,
do
Soma.
that.
Allah.
Happy
so-
Bell Riots Day.
Okay, so this is very early morning on August 30th because they were working all night and now it's early morning.
Yeah, I mean, bright and early, you gotta hose the homeless people off the streets. So it's just taking care of hygiene.
Vin, come on.
Okay, so they use the term here, DIMS. That's for mentally ill people who need help, but they just get placed in the sanctuary city. So
I
he
do appreciate it
categorized.
as an evolution of current.
Yeah, the
slang,
dynamic
though,
between
'cause you can
all the
call someone
characters was
dim.
great.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you
And
should,
then-
but you can. That is a common term.
So that's another huge thing about the homeless crisis. Like a lot of these people are mentally ill, and they need the majority of homelessness is actually caused by it's either drug addiction and or mental illness, and it feeds itself. Like now that you're homeless, you're gonna start doing drugs, and then your mental illness is gonna get
Sure
worse.
says they just need help, and Cisco very correctly states, and they're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Not right now, anyway.
And homelessness is still a massive issue today.
I mean,
Yeah.
they predict.
And rather than dealing with the problem, cities
Not if
just
they make it illegal.
hostile to
Just go be homeless somewhere
homeless
else.
people.
So in the 80s, because New York has right to shelter law, other cities would pay for a bus ticket for their homeless person, like $40, and you
Homelessness
wind up
is caused by capitalism.
Right.
It is not only caused by capitalism; it is necessary for capitalism.
Yeah, for sure. And then another crazy thing is that I learned in my the social justice training that my job made me take
Siddiq
during the
Al-Fadil!
pandemic.
Yes, it's been so long.
Yes. You have to say it now, Ryan.
What, Siddiq al-Tahil Fadil Abdurrahman Muhammad Ahmed Abdul Karim al-Makti?
Yep. Sudanese royalty in the house. So the huge problem of homelessness in the U.S. It's poverty rates are pretty much equal, among blacks and whites, like 13%, 14%. But black
Seems really
Americans,
high.
because they moved
Triangle
from the Great
shape.
Migration from the
Triangles!
South U.S. to the North U.S. When you don't have any family to support you, that's when you become homeless. Like other communities, they have a whole family support system, but when you have nobody, there's a difference between having no money and being homeless. And that's why 60% of homeless people in America are actually black. And they're only 14% of the poverty rate.
It turns out the real solution to homelessness, as Jadzia discovers, is just to have an individual person
Yeah.
give
Yep.
charity to you.
Benefactor.
To you specifically. You don't solve the wider systemic problems. You help an individual person who you feel deserves it or is pretty enough, in Jadzia's case. I don't know
I
if
think
Chris
it was
Brennan
the
would have
bleeding
stopped
point.
for, like, an old guy with a beard and a tattered hat. I don't think that would have happened.
Jessie is really with it to have gone, except my brooch rather than my Tom badge.
Oh yeah, she's real
Yeah.
quick on the uptake. Jadzia's a smart cookie.
Good usage of the word brooch.
So
Took
bump
her all
into
of
a
2
rich guy
seconds.
and be pretty.
Yeah. So this episode, part 1 was directed by someone different than part 2. Part 2 was
That
directed by
happens a fair
Jonathan
bit.
Frakes.
There's an episode, several episodes of Star Trek, but one which I know in particular, where they had all the episode about the virus and stuff, and then the episode after the deal with it. It's the same episode, but
Mhm.
the second episode is written by different people as well.
Reza Badiayi, that's an Iranian name, I believe, directed the first episode, and then Jonathan Frakes does the second one. I don't like when they do that because it feels like 2 different stories we watched.
But it is 2 different
Different
stories.
director
This
does do that,
episode
but-
1 is the build-up,
yeah.
episode 2 is the riot itself.
I like the same.
But at
arc.
the same time, it does work a bit because there is 2 different styles
Right.
to the storytelling.
Right.
This one is about
Cisco
the
barely even
story.
yells at anyone in part 1.
Hi
the
everyone.
second one is about
The
actually having massive action
Sorry,
stuff, which
go ahead.
Jonathan Frakes is good at.
Also, Miles, I really feel for you here. Like, according to the computer, it should have worked. I don't know what happened. The computer
Yeah.
looks right to me.
Waving hand sign.
Here it is. This is what we mentioned before, the accumulation of
Quantum
chronotype
particles.
particles in the ship's hull. How did they get embedded?
Oh.
They get
The of
lodged
armor.
in the ship's ablative armor. Sure, whatever, Miles. Why not? There should be one now, Miles, because it's convenient for the plot. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
We need this for the plot to happen.
Okay, so I feel like in
I feel like
1920 there
this
was
is San Fran.
the hostage situation with Cisco, excuse me, Bell. What's his name?
There was a surge
Gabriel
in plot
Bell.
convenience.
Benjamin Lafayette
in-
Cisco.
In Gabriel Bell, in 1960 or
It's a
1920.
problem now
there was-
because Benny Russell has added it to the plot of the story.
the Irish war for independence began when like British troops fired at a post office or something. So I mean, I think they were holding hostages too, the Irish Republicans, but it was a good standoff.
It's really easy to get home, Cisco. You just
Yeah.
find a starship. Oh. Well, if you can find a starship, just go really, really fast.
Well, just fly yourself to a black hole, and then you just sit there for a little bit, and then leave. It's really, really simple.
Okay, maybe don't do that, though. That sounds super dangerous.
if you do it at just the right place, you'll be fine. But I don't know if the just right place is actually beneficial to getting you forwards in the future. I would have to do calculations and things.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe all these children in this homeless camp should have just pulled themselves up by their bootstraps. Maybe they shouldn't have been so lazy. Yeah, look at that kid. She could be in the mines right now.
So that is the other, I don't want to say funny thing, but people look at homelessness as an individual responsibility problem. But in the past couple of years, the amount of families and children entering homeless shelters is higher than ever. So obviously it's not a personal responsibility problem.
As this episode is going to very much get into when we start talking to the gimmies, they're called.
Yeah.
Like, I was a manager at a manufacturing plant and they laid us off because of a computer and now I'm homeless.
Yeah.
And it's, as I said, homelessness is by design of capitalism. I have heard that
Wait, this is touch
function without it, but still, it's a bit. Certainly, there is elements of capitalism which enforces homelessness. I don't know whether it's actually essential to capitalism.
Okay, here's a bit of the future that we were approaching, but then backed away from. Touchscreen desktop computers. For a little while, that was definitely a thing. Like around Windows 8, everything was touchscreen. We sort of backed away from it.
Now should be touchscreen.
Like phones and laptops are touchscreen, but is a desktop monitor touchscreen?
The more technologically profound part of this episode, though, is they have it used to be called Telnet or Telex in France. You used to basically, it's like accessing Facebook through a Nokia phone. You know, you put numbers and you go through a menu just with like 1 through 9 keypad. But basically it was just data. You wouldn't get pictures, or I mean, I guess if it was a picture, it would be like an ASCII image. It's text. You know, it's not really an image.
Each individual letter like that.
I don't, but people wouldn't even know what ASCII means these days. So in my days, it's
the primary language of computing, or one of the primary languages.
I just know regular notepad file looks like.
Brenner Information Systems. Does this guy map to anybody in real life? I don't think so, because he'd have to be like some media mogul, and they're not exactly known for their altruism.
It would be like Elon Musk giving
Musk
Twitter
Information Systems.
Yeah,
but this guy's
giving
not
Twitter
evil,
to like
though.
Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
No, he's not evil. Musk isn't. Musk is just trying to better the human race.
Whatever you wish to tell yourself.
A little bit of transphobia mixed in there, but
there is a lot of stuff mixed in there. Yeah. And also, I'm not convinced by the premise to begin with.
So that's the thing. This guy, though, he is basically the rich, asshole, because everybody else is like sleeping on the streets, and he has the life,
I mean, he's out of touch. I don't think he's a bad guy. He's just sort of he doesn't understand the problem.
He's like the Silicon Valley entrepreneur. He's Vivek Ramaswamy. He just made a lot of money in crypto at one point, and he picked Judzy off the street.
Government computers have commercials? Why?
But yes, internet was very nascent, but
we
might have had telex. We might have had just this like press 1 for movie showings times.
So this facility is using some private corporation software to track everybody in the United States in their system. Yep. Cool.
So this is amazing.
Bring back internet connected PDAs.
Shut up and fill out the forms. Like, they're clearly competent. Just give them the forms.
Imagine someone with no money, no education, no mental health, and they have to go through a bureaucracy that doesn't care about them to begin with. Like, you're making it impossible to get help.
Chief, are you good?
That's the goal.
By the way, speaking of Gavin Newsom, or just generally, all these cities, they spend billions of dollars. They give contracts of hundreds of billions of dollars to these, homeless to shelter
And nothing
agencies,
happens.
and nothing happens. So it's not even like, as a society, we don't allocate resources to them.
It's
It's
like
just
I want to do like a charity stream
yeah.
for this, but like who do I even give it to? It's like
So
it hasn't worked historically.
it gets it gets better. It gets better. So there are some states that allow private companies to operate quote unquote detox facilities, and they get paid like $6,000 or $7,000 per person per month that they keep there. And essentially what they're doing is they're going into other states, onto Indian reservations, and basically kidnapping people who are addicted to drugs and taking them to these facilities and just keeping them addicted to drugs and keeping them in like these group
Yeah.
homes and squalor just to get the money. Yeah.
Anyway, the
And they-
technobabble was very technobabbly.
So my recommendation.
That doesn't make any sense.
This isn't a charity stream, but my recommendation would be to find a local homeless advocacy group and support them instead of
Soup
like a
kitchen,
big corporation with government contracts that doesn't actually help anyone.
church.
There it is. 15C.
Who's the guy?
Yep.
What's 15C and F? Soma, help.
I don't know. Off the top of my head.
59. It's 59.
It's like, yeah,
Hang on, let me open it.
which is
again.
correct.
Wow.
Which is correct for the weather today over there.
So, fun
There's
fact.
that line.
Oh no!
the,
See, this was correct if this is on or before 9 a.m. Because at 9 a.m. it started climbing from 60.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be at 9:15 a.m.
So, fun fact: a majority of mentally ill people in the United States are in jails because jail is the best facility we have for them because that's where all the money
No.
goes. Well,
The rest of them are here on the stream.
To rephrase, Soma, those are the only facilities we have for people.
Right.
True. True.
We used to have mental asylums, but then they got closed.
They were even worse.
Mm,
like there's a war.
Some of them,
there's-
maybe.
Well, the Bell
Systemically
riots a
worse.
fine ally here. I do enjoy outliving sci-fi futures. Well, hopefully, smiley face.
I mean, so this episode ends September 3rd. So as long as you survive for the next 2 days, you're good. Bashir, it's fine.
I just
If
finished
people
watching
don't
the.
die, then people won't take it seriously, and it won't be a watershed event of the 21st century. Thank you, Cisco. So when Cisco first learned about Bell, did he see a picture of actual Gabriel Bell, or is this like a temporal loop where it was a picture of himself reading about it?
No, he never saw the.
No,
actual
it was
video.
That was a different picture before.
Well, we don't know because Bell dies in both timelines. So, as long as Cisco had to just basically make sure.
Because I don't know how original Gabriel Bell. This is going to be a plot
Is
point.
he his
next-
own
next
grandfather
episode.
too?
But how could he have logged onto the net? Because the only way they were able to get onto the internet to start live streaming, which they have fancy tech words for, but it's just live streaming, is because Jadzia had a connection with corporate sellout dude.
Tech bro.
So I think it was Cisco
You saying this is a
originally.
causality loop?
Yes.
So we need one radical activist and one tech bro.
Resonant emission
And-
processing form 325 - something.
Okay, this scene is depressing because she's like, I could have helped you hours ago, but I thought you were mentally incapacitated.
What's the
Like-
delay there, though?
No, so
They
basically,
was
I mean, here's what
deliberately
I
holding up
see.
applications for mentally ill
Right.
people, or
So the the guard
One
purposely
underscore
put them
sympathetic
on the-
underscore tech bro. That's a critical part.
Nobody knows what Bell's capabilities were in the original timeline.
Yeah, maybe he was bros with Chris. Who's to say? Maybe he was a computer hacker, and that's how he did it. Also, this is pretty messed up too. You just if they were just passing through the town to go home or something, they just get arrested because they don't happen to live there.
Oh no, specifically they don't have ID, which is, not having your papers is a crime. Just like being
Actually, it's not.
Well, here it is because that's why they got sent to the sanctuary
in
city.
this dystopian San Francisco, you need to have your papers, or you get arrested and put into a sanctuary district. Sorry,
Also,
not arrested because it's not illegal. They're just helping these people.
That's a hallmark of fascist regimes. You must have your papers. So.
But again, at least this version of San Francisco is trying something.
I mean, in some ways, here I think you know what it is though. What I love about this episode, at some point, Cisco confronts the guard, and he's like, "What? You want me to, sit in a corner and cry, or like feel bad for them?" And he's like, "Well, that would be a start." So the thing is, we stop caring. Like we just brush these people under the rug, and we stop caring, which is the real social malaise.
To an extent, California is doing certain things, but nothing that actually.
Yeah, they're tearing down the tent cities.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Yeah,
help.
that's
that just.
Yeah, they're tearing down the tent cities. You don't just want your homeless people to be cold. You want them to be cold.
What I meant was, I suppose compared to other areas in America, they're doing slightly better. Yeah.
I don't know what Florida's doing, but it's Florida, so I assume it's horrific.
Where do you think they get all the people for the Small World ride? They're real homeless children. When you age out of the small people
timeline
ride.
In which the Gorn hegemony accidentally teleport into a dystopian 21st century event. Let the feast and horrific breeding begin.
Look
And
at Long
like I
Island
said,
in Boston. It used to be an asylum. They want to open it back up.
They just traveled back in time because who cares about these people? We can just eat them. Cast out by society, they're delicious. Nobody will even notice.
Go ahead, Robo.
I feel like the new version of Gorn that are just xenomorphs is lazy.
It's definitely a questionable choice.
It's weird, but I would prefer it over man moving very slowly in rubber suit.
Well, but they had so many more options that they could have been.
Someone's response to Dak's call. Dax, are you hot?
Also,
Agreed
they
there.
Don't really, well, I'm not sure if they address these two communicators because they're missing. Like, who did Dax just call? Some random mugger. In San Francisco.
Oh.
I thought we got Cisco's dad in this episode, but we don't.
Nope, no Brock.
But we do get this.
Yeah, the art
Dex,
style of the new Gorn
the
itself was
subway.
cool. I just would have worked a lot better if they had given them a different name.
No, look, we never saw the Gorn other than that lame
today?
fight that didn't age well.
No.
You can treat it. You can't cure it. You can treat it.
But
according to the PADD at the end of Part 2, it was Bell that established the broadcast. Cisco and Julian's badge.
And, by the way, people may assume that it's just like, let's say the right wing that doesn't want to help homeless people. I saw this libertarian video of this guy, veteran. He made small, tiny houses for homeless people in California, and the city came and destroyed them because they're not permitted. And, and the thing was, he made the houses with locks, so at least you could feel safe. And you're sleeping under a bridge anyway. What does it matter if you're under a
Where
shed?
are all the cell phones?
Like, they destroyed...
They don't have any here because they don't have any technology here.
The city destroyed over $1,200 tiny homes that someone built for homeless people. Like, you don't even want to use the resources that were provided?
No, if we give
The Gorn showed up
homeless
twice
people
before
resources, then
SNW Once in
homeless
the
people who
original
don't
series
deserve those
Arena,
resources will get
and
them.
once in Enterprise in a mirror.
Have you thought
I
about
couldn't
that?
hear you, Ryan, over the robot voice.
I was saying that there is a point of view that we shouldn't help groups of people because what if some of the people in that group don't deserve it?
Oh yeah, that is probably a majority opinion in the states.
Hey, have some respect for robots.
Like, God forbid we accidentally help people who didn't deserve it on the way to helping a bunch of people who did deserve it. Yeah, I hate that mindset.
Perhaps we should
passionately.
escape to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space.
Okay.
Space.
Oh,
Tim Curry.
Said with the rolling eyes.
No, he says it more like space.
No, this is a really good character too because they're called ghosts. So basically, what they're mentally ill people, right? Or they're like
No,
addicts,
they're
basically.
antisocial people.
No, they're the criminals.
Yeah.
No, there's no criminals in
The-
Sanctuary Cities, actually.
No, the Dims are
He's a criminal.
are the mentally ill.
He's the guy who
He
just talks to
literally
himself in a
murders
corner.
a dude a few scenes from now. And they met this guy when he was beating a man to steal his ration card.
Yeah.
He's a little mentally ill, okay? He's not all there. Like,
he seems.
do you remember?
Probably, but he's not.
Yeah.
But he's not a. I don't think they actually identify him as a dim, do they?
No, he's a,
No,
ghost,
he's a
which is a
ghost.
third category of
very
person. There's
spooky.
dims, gimmies,
Right,
and ghosts.
Exactly.
And ghosts you just stay away from because, you know, they have a screw loose. You know?
No, ghosts are like they didn't assimilate and
They're
they
the
don't
criminals.
have.
I don't know that this guy has actually anything wrong with him, like medically, mentally. I think he's just mean.
He's unsocialized.
Yeah.
You know, just a misfit. He doesn't deserve to be in there either.
He murdered a dude.
I mean, probably.
He reminds me of-
He was either a gimme or a dim at first.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Bobcat Goldthwait.
All
There
right,
it is.
so
our
whoever
It's like
one
says,
Kid
egg and
Rock
our
to me.
one piece of white bread.
whoever says we're not doing social services doesn't know what they're talking about. Something cool. The lady who they negotiate with, she reminds me of an admiral. She would have been a really good Starfleet admiral. Even her dress.
Hang on,
She's the
here's
liaison
something
with the governor.
shocking. This is an actual proper ceramic plate.
They
I
can
would
smash it and use it as a weapon.
Yeah, I would expect them to give them paper plates here. Wow. See, they
I mean,
do.
because it'd be
care.
cheaper.
Actually, I
if
think
nothing else.
Is that a metal plate? That might be metal.
Maybe it's plastic.
That white bread looks so disgusting.
So he's scooping up the egg with his bread. Is that a thing?
The trouble
Okay,
was
so
probably
in
with
India,
encouraging the building
we'll
of
eat
unsuitable housing. Unfortunate bit of
roti
double-edged sword legislation.
An egg that way, but with our hands too. So he is from a Muslim country. They
Oh, he's
probably eat
from
with their
England.
hands. Right, but he's Sudanese royalty. Well, he doesn't eat with his
Someone
hands,
needs to
but
teach the kid how to jump rope.
Many people in the Sudan eat with their hands. Not royalty, obviously, but
She's doing all right with the rope. What do you mean? Or was that a different kid?
okay. Another aspect of these sanctuary studies, there's no law, right? So people just stand outside and they say, "This is our building. You can't come in."
But the
Occupancy
buildings
full.
are here for everybody to use.
Well, keep walking, smarty pants.
Now this, it seems pretty well established that
The
everybody
shoes.
in modern era within Star Trek, like whenever they travel back in time, everyone thinks they look really stupid. But apparently
Yeah.
these people completely disagree. They're into the uniforms. They want them.
I mean, have you listened to anyone in 2024 who's a Star Trek fan?
Also,
But everybody,
when
everybody else in this show is like, what? They throw you out in the middle of the night while you're wearing your pajamas.
yeah, the guy at the beginning of the episode did call him pajamas. He said, "I like the matching pajamas."
Data
'cause
as
Bashir
well
was
when he
wearing
goes
blue.
back in time wearing pajamas.
Oh, okay.
Earlier he did say they were wearing matching pajamas.
Thanks,
Yes.
chat. Man, this is so
This is the
depressing. This
plant
guy.
manager, man.
That's Tim Waltz.
I don't think that's accurate.
Well, I'm just saying he's the shining
He has a
knight in
vaguely
armor.
similar head shape, I suppose.
The show predicted everything.
I look like a man.
No, it's just he's like the caring dad, the football coach that
Julian, I
everybody
don't know
likes.
if we want you to be here. Maybe we should get the actual valedictorian here, the person who actually
It's a
can
costume for
identify
TV, but in
post-ganglionic
universe the
nerve.
uniforms would be made out of some incredible fabric material.
Yeah, Star Trek
True.
uniforms canonically have like temperature regulation built in, and they're super comfortable. And
Well,
Here's the other
Lululemon-
thing. We can't leave that stuff
I've
in the
literally
past, right? So
seen
when they
that
get to
meme.
Defiant, they're gonna beam
Walls
those
as the dad of
uniforms
this
back,
episode.
and those guys are just gonna be naked suddenly.
Lululemon yoga pants. I don't know how to
Oh
say
my
it.
gosh.
They have
Lululemon.
Thank you. They have silver in them because it makes it more stretchy, but also has that cool.
No, they don't.
It does.
No,
That's why they cost so much.
no.
But this character is so tragic. Like he has to hold a knife because there's no healthcare. He's like, my son's injured. Don't get near him.
No.
Everyone's hostile to strangers.
I mean, there is a doctor.
I mean, there's no
Silver
healthcare.
technology question. 99% pure silver, permanently bound to a nylon thread and woven directly into the garment. All right, so here's the thing. Silver is highly reactive, so it oxidizes very quickly. And if you're in like a electrolyte rich environment, like a fabric covered in sweat, I don't know how long that would last.
Obviously you don't wear Lululemon yoga pants.
correct.
You're right, I don't.
Thanks, Tim Waltz.
It's not him. It's not him.
Okay, so as long as we're being political,
Oh wait, Seafloor Mining Project. Oh, they're still going to be trying to do that for 400 years. They're going to try to recruit Captain Picard.
Oh my
'cause
God.
they
Good
still
marketing
can't
if they
figure
make
it
you
out.
Picard's
believe
doing
it.
that.
Works for all those anti-aging creams on those silly enough to buy them.
the seabed recovery, yes, ocean floor lifting. But here they say
Yeah,
there's a
good for the
pan-Central
Alps.
American government, so we don't have the migrant crisis. Speaking of migrant crisis, let's just put him in
That's a
sanctuary city.
Gaulless. Are
New
people
York
trying
City
to
has
bring
put all
back
the
Gaul as a state? What do you...
New York City has put all the migrants on Randall's Island, and when we get more, that's where we put them.
I'm not sure about
And-
Star Trek's view of fashion in the future.
The
This
British.
all looks weird.
And then the other thing is, though, I hear so many people in New
Yeah.
York regularly say, "Oh, the migrants get all the benefits. I have to work. I don't get any help." And I'm like, these people probably swam across the Rio Grande, being pursued by, traffickers. I wouldn't try to say that they have life easier than you, because they fled for their lives from
I
Nicaragua.
mean,
or wherever
even
they're
if
from.
true, shouldn't the solution be to give more people help that they need and not strip it
Yeah,
away
for sure,
from
for sure.
others?
Right, but they're just like, "Oh, the migrants get help, and I'm a citizen. I don't get anything." I'm like, believe me.
I mean, yeah, no, it is planned. Yeah, it is
It's backwards. No offense.
a
Oh,
terrible
well-
attitude people have.
Yeah.
One other thing this episode got right, the student protests in France, because apparently France loves protests. It's like their whole
Yeah.
culture.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh hell
They
yeah.
protest about anything that doesn't follow that they want.
I think they tried to
should-
raise the retirement age from 62 to 63,
Yes.
and there was a riot.
There are two lessons in this episode. One is to actually care about the people around you and actively try to help them. Two
Yeah. Yep.
is be like France and actually, fight for what you want.
Bring everything to a halt.
Go on.
Yep.
The only way
Be-
to
More than
Sure,
be
it's
more
hit
than a
very
hero.
hard,
Be a
or-
union man.
make it very, very,
Well-
very public.
In fairness, France's economy is anemic compared to how the UK and USA does.
I mean, that's fine.
Bashir, why do you look evil in that
Like,
shot?
What if I want
like
eugenics?
that's not shouldn't that's a legitimate choice is to have a less powerful economy. Like they do fine. France is
General
not is
strike.
a wealthy country. Like
We can't be world police if we're not at the top of the pile, man.
Should we even strike
Yeah.
if it disrupts the economy? Especially if it disrupts the
Okay.
economy.
yeah, exactly. That's the point.
Yeah.
Also, like, by the way, Gabriel Bell's gonna die here. So, I just watched
There he
the
is. There's Gabe.
The original Stranger Worlds episode where
People
La'an
love
goes
to
back in
believe
time
nonsense. Here, United
to
Kingdom.
save Khan
People really believe that migrants get given a multi-million-pound house and free everything.
I know.
Yeah.
I can see why Cisco is able to take over for Gabe, because just immediately walking in and punching a dude in the face, that's very Cisco.
It's true. It's true.
But speaking of mixing up historical faces, Denzel Washington did such an amazing job playing Malcolm X in the Spike Lee movie that when you say Malcolm X and I think of the civil rights leader, I actually see Denzel Washington. So I feel like it's that.
Cops
I
aren't
guess
gonna
Ben
try
Kingsley's.
To... Oh no, they are going to try to stop them. Okay.
And by that token, Ben Kingsley would make a really good Mahatma Gandhi, right? So.
He's kind of got the facial structure for Gandhi. I can see.
Yeah,
it.
he does. He did a great job. I mean, he lost weight for the role too, you know. So.
There's a door there. Didn't consider going. Oh, they've gone into the door.
Thanks for the exposition, Julian. We can see that.
Are we allowed to say Black Lives
It's
Matter?
astonishing how some actors can really become a character
Sure.
to the point of being unrecognizable.
Yeah.
Does Ben Kingsley ever look unrecognizable? Hang on, let me... Did he actually play Gandhi, or is this a hypothetical?
So, what
No,
do
he
you
played
think
Gandhi in
Temple
the
Investigations
Pulitzer
thought
Prize
about the
winning movie.
events of this episode?
It was like a 3-hour film too, by the way, because
let
they
me
really
look
wanted
up
to
a
do a
picture of
biopic.
him.
Biopic is the word.
Okay, yeah,
Biopic?
No, that
It's a
never mind.
biopic.
He actually doesn't look
It's
like Ben
biopic.
Kingsley when he's playing Gandhi. Wow. Everything else I've ever seen him in is like, no, that's just Ben Kingsley. But
I know, right? No, he did an amazing job of getting into the role. I really thought when I was a
Biopic.
kid, because I was like 10, I thought that the guy was Gandhi. I thought it was like a documentary you were watching. I didn't realize it was a movie.
Oh, it's just his outfit.
what?
Oh,
jeez.
Thank you, Soma.
I saw someone post this recently.
That's why.
Still wearing their
Yeah.
com badge over on top of their clothes.
That's
Yeah.
why she looks so off.
Wait, who looks off? Where? What?
Oh, no,
Kira.
Kira's outfit. Yeah.
Kira's wearing Jadzia's costume.
Is she?
I don't know.
They avoid Deep Space
it's
Nine
not
after
outfit,
they
it's-
read up
it's
about the
someone else wears it.
miniaturized runabout.
I don't know.
Also, yeah, Temporal Investigations.
There's reviews.
I mean, the first thing Temporal Investigations asked in the Tribbles episode was if this was a predestination paradox, and I maintain that's what this is. So I think this is
Yeah,
standard
we hate those.
procedure for them.
Yes. Right. So I was just watching the La'an episode where she goes back in time to save her ancestor.
It could be.
Khan Noonien.
You don't really know.
So they say at the end of that episode, Temporal Investigations, that you were the best person for the job because you would have done it like no one else. So I feel like the same way. Cisco is the best person for this job. Although this is an accident.
I can't imagine Picard trying to step into this riot.
No. Also, he'd be like,
He tried to talk everybody down.
he'd have a 4-day negotiation.
He would enrage BC. BC would shoot people.
Also, Picard never really had a social justice arc to him. He was busy playing archaeologist. He was kind of a bougie guy.
He had a couple things early on, but only when it personally affected
Do you
him.
guys do this a lot?
Watch Star Trek? This is every
The
week.
stream?
Once a
We've
week.
been doing it since 2021 and
for
August.
3 or 4 years.
Oh my
this
word, it
ridiculous.
has.
We have so far watched all of the old Star Trek, and we're now doing Discovery. Except today.
We started with
today's the
TNG.
Bell Riots.
Yeah.
Then we did DS9, Voyager, Enterprise, original series, animated series, Discovery.
Also, there's a link to the
You see-
Discord in the description, so you can also do
Yeah.
the voice chat.
This statement is also very true to this day about the recruitment centres for homeless people. The vast majority of people don't actually end up getting jobs from them.
Wow, what a twist.
You know what?
If we have no jobs, maybe we could try basic income?
Yep.
Keep people alive?
As I've been
good
looking
thought.
at a lot recently, just £900 million, so less than a billion that is required. Students
So
from
how
100
do
million each.
you...
£900 million is enough to pay people for their entire lifetimes. 300 people.
A year.
For their 300 people for their entire lifetimes.
Oh, okay.
What is it? Productivity has increased like 100-fold,
So-
and wages have increased like 10%.
Surprised they didn't just suggest slavery.
Yeah,
I'd
and you
probably
know
leave
the
some
funny
extra
thing is,
space in there to help people out.
you know, we try to avoid giving handouts because it doesn't like kind of help people. Just to give them a handout. It's a global problem too. Rory Stewart was foreign minister of the UK for a while, and he talks about like, well, when you're giving out development aid.
Corporate sellouts actually confronting his preconceptions.
I mean, it does help people, it turns out.
No, you don't give handouts. What you do is you like build roads and things like that. But the thing is though, the bureaucracy for the
We
welfare
give
state
tons
is
of
so
handouts
massive.
to big businesses that don't need them.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
So
we gave bailout to Wall Street,
the
the
bureaucracy
banks,
is so
the
massive.
automotive
Also, handouts are
companies.
actually a good thing to do.
Wait, hang on. This
Like,
real
it
quick,
actually
this
does
is
help.
this is
Socialism
6:30
is
a.m.
bad
today.
unless you're rich.
Wait, Ryan's trying to say something.
No.
This is today. We are now caught up to
Oh.
present time. This is
Yep.
6:30
Uh-oh.
o'clock this morning.
Down with the aristocracy.
So how about those COVID loans to businesses that got forgiven, and then the people who received them were all complaining about individual people getting
Yeah.
handouts,
That's a good one.
and then they fired all their staff anyway, despite getting
yeah.
a loan specifically to retain them. I shouldn't call them loans. I should really just call them grants, because that's what they were.
Handouts actually. But what I'm saying is though, the bureaucracy. So one of the down things about just giving someone
No, it's
welfare-
only a handout if it goes to someone I don't like. If
Right.
it comes to me, it was necessary to keep
that's
me
my
afloat.
money.
Because I deserved it.
That's my tax break.
Yeah.
He's really rough here, by the way. The way he threw
God,
her
I
against
needed
the
Cisco
wall.
with a shotgun.
So one of the down parts about just giving someone welfare or food stamps is that once they make a little bit more money, they don't qualify for it anymore, and so that
Yeah, it's called the welfare cliff.
We'll have people lie
we-
about their income, or people make money off the books to keep welfare. But if you give everybody, say, 10,000 a year, it doesn't matter if you make more money.
you can say
You
today.
encourage people
It's
to
not
work.
If the benefits help people
10,000
bounce
isn't
out of
enough.
poverty, they are demonized. So long as it's just
Right.
enough to
You-
not die
you
and not
need
nearly
to-
enough to help, it gets approved.
You need to smooth the welfare cliff. So instead of having people's benefits just stop,
Right.
you need to have it curtail so that it smooths the cliff to nothing. But then
Like
This-
every $2
you still
you
need
make,
to,
you lose
like-
50
Or
cents
for
of
people talking about
benefits.
negative tax brackets for that.
Right.
so basically the welfare cliff
Oh, it's currently
is
today in the
right around
episode.
$30,000.
The name's Bond.
And
Big
after $30,000, you don't recover what
just implement
you
UBI.
get from.
Yes.
Right.
You don't recover until you get to like $60,000. Ask me
Right.
how I know.
But between that 30 and 60, you lose your health insurance. You got to go figure everything out, and it's
All right, 1 minute to part 2. Everyone queue up part 2.
So just give everybody universal basic income. You don't have to pay the bureaucrats. With all due respect to the bureaucrat lady in this episode, who's trying despite the best of her ability, resources.
Well, she used to try, and then the system sort of beat her down.
Yeah. I mean, you get a long line that never gets shorter. You remember
Anyway,
when?
how about that weather?
Remember when?
Very, very hot.
Not awful, actually.
What's hot for UK? Like 55 degrees Fahrenheit? Like what's hot?
23, 24 degrees Celsius.
No,
20,
it was 100 degrees here. It was 100 degrees here, and it was so humid. The dew point was 75
Hang on,
Fahrenheit.
Press play at
But
5.
it got to 100 Fahrenheit
3,
in the UK
2,
last year, and just
1,
everything just like
play.
melted. Everything went nuts. It was like,
They
yeah.
have heat waves over there all the time.
That was
But that was unusual. That was a record. Yeah.
Oh, you guys just wait.
But it was
wait
pretty
till the
funny.
wait till the Gulf Stream
It was
collapses
29
and the UK
today
turns
in
into an
southwest
ice
London.
cube.
No, don't worry. We outlawed climate change. Everything's fine.
I remember before we were trying to figure out if 600 million people died in World War III or 2 billion. But I feel like that line in Stranger Worlds about 2 billion, that counted the eugenics wars, the American Civil War, and a few other conflicts.
The Second American Civil War, Civil War II, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, I mean, January 6th was the spark.
And an appropriate name for the 40s would have been World War II Nuclear Boogaloo.
Interesting.
I like these shotguns.
With eugenics,
they're
you
just
don't need so
rub-
many people. It's fine.
They're very Left 4 Dead 2, but yes, if you would like to explain.
The Remington 870s with folding stocks. I guess they could be Mossberg 500s. This the resolution isn't that great.
And so I feel bad for the guards who work here, but on the other hand, we're not meant to be too empathetic, right? Because they're the ones who are kind of administering this dystopian hell.
They're enforcing an oppressive system.
So Orwell has a really interesting thing. Like, there's the proles, which is like all these people in the town, and then there's the outer party, people who
did they
basically
knock
are
off all the paper. That's not appropriate for a ride. That's
All
going
right.
to be a pain to clean.
All right,
and then
so
there's the inner party.
I was right the first time. Remington 870 with the folding stock. There's also Ithaca 37 with pistol grip, Colt Python, Walther PPK, and oh no, this is Avery Brooks. Hold on.
Within the, do we really need the blinds?
I'm
closed? Like,
sorry.
we can't see anything out those windows.
No, that's a fun.
This was so I accidentally ended up on a page
They're
specifically
just
for Avery
following
Brooks, so it
orders.
had every gun Avery Brooks ever held. In this episode, this is Remington 870 with folding
Okay,
stock.
now what is that gun that Vin has?
It's a pistol.
Okay, yeah, but I was hoping for a little
What
more
kind of
specific
pistol?
detail from Gunman.
Hold on.
Okay,
I might be a Browning high point. Let me see.
something I like about this lady is that she's freaking out, and that's what most people would do in a hostage situation.
Cisco, what do you do with the gun? Oh, you just keep it with you? Nice. Free gun.
So I'm not justifying
This episode
what
aired
happened
almost 30 years
last
ago.
year, but there are hostages in Gaza, and that is also a huge kerfuffle that this episode kind of predicts. Like, this episode seems to justify hostage taking. Obviously, we've already discussed how Kira's plot as a Bajoran terrorist would probably be different if the show was written after 9/11.
This is the exact opposite of TNG's episode about civil disturbance.
Yeah, it is.
Captain Picard's whole moral lesson that episode was you have to be friendly and just talk it out. And we all want the same thing. We just need to actually discuss the solutions. Cisco's plan is nah, shoot some guys.
No, once things
Wait,
get
that's
bad
not
enough,
John
he needs to
Barrowman, is
take
it?
some hostages. No.
Who's that? I don't know who that is.
Captain Jack Harkness. I don't think it is.
Who
Captain Jack
the
Hart.
kid? The cop? The young cop?
He's
I
a,
think he was just on screen. Yeah,
he's a glorified security guard. I mean,
Jack Harkness is John Barrowman in the UK.
one thing I want to pick a bone with this episode, they say they're sending in the National Guard, but it's just a SWAT team. Like, if it was the National Guard, they'd all be dead with the M16s that the National Guard carries.
What? No. Actually, in this episode, when we see the National Guard, they will not be carrying M16s. They
No,
will instead be carrying L85A1s.
Yeah, but I said that they're not really National Guard because they're not in Army fatigues. They're more like SWAT teams, which is just your local SWAT force.
Because the people we see in the blue uniforms are police, and the people we see in the green uniforms are National Guard.
So they said they're sending in the National Guard, and the people blue come in. So
All right, but they do have the National Guard that we'll see in the episode. Don't worry.
Gavin Newsom.
But the police that go in will have MP5Ks and Bullpup Mossberg 500s.
I'm saying all the hostages would have been killed in real life, just from the
And also
action.
a 37 millimeter
Since
tear gas
when have
launcher.
police diffusing situations ever resulted in civilian
Yeah.
casualties?
Oh my god.
Can I get a freeze frame of what was the guy's name?
I'm old enough
with
to
the
remember
pistol?
Waco.
I mean, you can't even boil a pot of water these days.
What was the guard's name that had the pistol?
The Vin is the old one.
Thanks.
Vin. I'm trying to find pictures of it. It was either a high point or maybe a SIG. I'm sorry.
Which season
High
is
power, not high point.
What season? I think this is season 3.
Yeah.
Season 3, episode 12.
Is there a Weapons of Star Trek wiki somewhere?
Frame.
IMF, the Internet Movie Firearm Database, has the Remington 870 with the folding stock. They have the MP5Ks that the police will have later, and the L85A1 that the National Guard will have, but they don't have
Wait, Governor Chen.
pistol.
Who the heck is Governor Chen? Where's Gavin? Ridiculous.
Memory Alpha does have the Remington 870.
You could probably also check, I think it's called Ex Astra Scientia. They're sort of psychopathic about cataloging everything. Clint Howard. Yes, we're going to see Clint Howard soon.
I like guns.
We are on all
Guns are
3
good.
channels.
We had more channels in the 90s than that, but this is 2024. But yeah. But so this episode was directed by Jonathan Frakes, which is why it's arguably the better episode.
I was going to say, what, you don't like... And then I couldn't remember the name. I have no idea who the previous director was.
Reza Badiei.
Okay. You don't like them? You don't like Reza?
This episode had more action in it. So, flashbang grenades.
Well, that's not Reza's fault. That's just how the story goes.
I like that Dax is living a good life. She's probably going out to like $200 dinners every night. Go to the Carnegie for an opera.
$200 dinners, like just what, McDonald's or
Haha.
inflation? Am I right?
Yeah.
This is continuing the actual theme of these episodes, which is just,
Yeah.
you should just at least care.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't though.
Dax just trying to get through to him is like, no, just stop and think about it for a second. These are actual people who
$200
are in
dinners is
actual
probably
danger.
just McDonald's or Taco Bell like in Demolition Man.
Okay, guys.
Taco Bell is the only franchise that survived the franchise wars. Remember?
I don't. What are the other
But-
franchises?
Cisco in this episode debates the Kings versus the Yankees, and that was 2015 was Buck Bokai's first year.
Buck Bokai, of course, was in the Rumpelstiltskin episode as one of the ghost aliens.
And Cisco has his playing card.
No, because they changed it to Pizza Hut outside of the S.
Yes, Pizza Hut outside of in the UK, because the UK at the time didn't have Taco Bell.
DS9 correctly predicted the decline of people watching sports, though, because they've nailed it. No one's gonna be watching baseball in 2070.
But they made Cisco into baseball. Baseball's like the worst sport. Nothing happens.
Are they in the wrong
It is
timeline?
very
We do
dependent on
now,
you
and
like
it's
understanding the underlying storyline. Baseball.
Okay,
The
no.
drama is
I don't
not
like
apparent
sports
on
ball.
screen.
Okay, respectfully, what the three of you, including the person in chat, doesn't understand. Baseball is America's pastime, or it certainly was. Basketball overtook it around the 2000s, but before then, America's...
No, we know that. We've been told that our whole lives.
So you're saying
Right.
we should love baseball because that's the way it's always been done?
Yeah, I mean, well, certainly when this
Yeah.
episode was made, that was the most popular sport in this country.
Also, yes, they are in the wrong
No,
timeline.
I don't think it's changed that dramatically since then. Like it's still.
I love how Kira
baseball's still there,
volunteered
sort of
and
as
she
a tradition,
broke her
but
nose
people,
unprovoked.
but
She's trying.
it's not.
Thanks,
like-
Space
I
Jam.
think
Oh,
it
you
used
broke
to
your
be.
nose. Did you fall into a doorknob again? Huh?
Football kept on to its ratings a little bit longer, but baseball's ratings are... I mean, TV in general doesn't have any ad money left. So TV
Hey,
itself is almost
Robo, is
dead.
that a safe way to hold a shotgun? I'm pretty sure his finger is 100% on the trigger.
Nobody watches
I gotta
TV
see it
anymore.
again. No, yeah, that's very unsafe. He's holding the trigger down. I think the only reason
There's just not a trigger in
it's a prop
Yeah.
gun. Well,
BC,
yeah,
what
it's a
have you
prop.
done?
So
Did he pull out the trigger?
It's not all there.
I'm just waiting for water polo to become relevant.
You know, this
Good
episode
plan,
is so
BC.
perfect
I'm into it.
because
Oh god, water polo. Archer,
You know-
why?
you can have a
Him
reasonable
showing bad
hostage
trigger
situation,
discipline is in character.
and then you could have this guy with no trigger discipline in charge of the hostages, and it would have turned out so much worse if, you know, this like the rogue sanctuary people killed hostages.
I like to watch competitive breakdancing.
I really want to see Cisco holding a shotgun again. Because I can get that BC's not great in general. But like, surely Cisco knows not to have his finger on the trigger.
And basically, this guy just plays Russian roulette with his own life. So
Well, turns out
Australia was very good at it in the Olympics.
I also like that Cisco is slipping into the role. He's using us.
Yeah.
It's like, no, he's gonna go home and live in his utopian future. This
log
guy
on the
sucks.
internet. They said.
I don't think they
interface.
call it the. Do they call it the internet?
It's called the
net, I think
interface,
they
or-
just call it, or the.
yeah.
Not to make generalizations, but shouldn't everybody be carrying a little extra weight and have crippling opioid addictions?
The Nets.
You're so funny. So I went to
The
Occupy Wall Street
interface.
in 2011. I live in New York, so I didn't really have to sleep in the streets. I went back home most nights, especially if it was raining. But I did sleep some days at the park. And then the police came in, arrested all my friends, and ended the encampment. And I wanted to just say though, my friend who introduced me to Occupy, he actually later when we had the George Floyd protests against police brutality, he said, "I never thought there would be a movement in this country against police brutality." So I want to just commend the show here because people did wake up a little bit after those protests. I know it's controversial, but it kind of horrified everybody. And the same way this episode with Gabriel Bell's death kind of rallying the nation, we did have a good outcome a little bit.
Check your email. Who says that, Vin?
Like everybody watched that guy die on camera for like 10 minutes or 15, 16 minutes, and everybody was depressed. And in fact, people who I know weren't
You've
even
got
political
mail.
activists, they took the streets to protest against police brutality. It was in every city in this country.
BC, yes,
So
BC. Hang on, BC
He
is
died
the
at
best
the hospital,
character.
though.
He's not shooting people immediately, but he's really advocating for it. Like, please let me murder this man.
This
It's
lady's
very
the
hard
admiral.
to predict future slang.
It's so hard to predict future slang. I feel like they shouldn't even try.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with them using 90s slang. Wait, is that 90s slang? Did people say that?
Why is she familiar?
What? What did they say?
Check your email. Like, it wouldn't have been a big thing, but... Also, is
It was
who
a
familiar
thing.
with the cop? I don't know who the cop is.
I like the social worker lady. Also, I'm a social worker, so I have the most empathy for her. Because she's part of the problem, because she's not part of the solution.
Surely if you're a social worker, the people you should have the most empathy for
Yeah.
is the people that actually need the help.
Yeah, just in this episode, it's just she can't do anything, and yet she's paid to sit there and watch the tornado
What's her name?
of
Detective something.
By the way, as a social worker, I try not to be a bureaucratic nightmare for people I serve. I often walk them through the bureaucracy because nobody's born knowing anything. You need someone to, especially if it's your first time seeking social services.
Okay, so Detective Preston is played by Deborah Van Valkenburg. I don't know if she does the German pronunciation. She in anything else?
Also, my workload
do
gives me a
that.
lot of stress because there's no way I can serve the amount of people who need help. So that stresses me out a lot.
Oh, Deborah was in Quantum Leap
Like,
once.
and this is why, honestly, like even if it means getting rid of my job, just give everyone universal basic income. Don't worry about my salary and my pension. Just give the people who actually need it, and let's stop.
Well, you don't need to worry about your salary if you have universal basic income.
Yeah.
Plenty of
Right.
time to find another job.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
She was in The Warrior.
But like social service agencies. Yeah.
I have questions about their demands here. So they are demanding that the governor of California reinstate the Federal Employment Act.
That is a problem.
I don't think the governor can do that. We need
Also,
we
the
need
It
funny
someone
could be
higher
that
up.
it
We need the
I mean,
president
some
on
of
the
these
line.
laws are sort of opt-in by the state, and so it's possible that it's some sort of that California pulled
did
out
you
of the
opt out of
act,
this? Why
and they
did
wanted.
do that?
The joke is though that the government would care about 5 hostages and actually institute reforms over 5 people's lives. They'd be like, but I think
I don't think it's that. I mean, that it's not these negotiations that make actual change happen. It's the riots,
it's
right?
the well,
I don't think.
it's
Yeah,
it's the outcry
Where was
because they were
WW3 and the Eastern Coalition? Augments?
That got
26.
Colonel Green.
the Well, yeah, World War III is still in the future, but like the augment stuff that got pushed to like the 2040s because of the Romulans. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, they're going to keep playing that game.
It was enough free flowing that is not quite relevant to our time yet, so it's fine.
This cloak he has really makes him look like a villain.
Oh, the crazy! She's diabetic. She needs like a chocolate bar. That's why she's.
All the people who believe they are paid more for working harder than people on minimum pay would riot, but I'm cool with it.
Listen, the CEO just works 15,000 times harder than you. I don't know what to say.
You know, Giannis
Making some
Varoufakis.
Stuff up on the spot. Yes, good improv.
Yep.
He's a Greek finance minister during the 08 crisis. He says that, you know, what we could do is we could just put a tax on every AI transaction, let's say $5, and that would be enough to, because basically he calls our society techno-feudalism. We're basically just
long story short, tax the rich.
Yeah.
But this AI has amazing potential. AI has amazing potential to like move our economy forward.
It's potential in specific instances, but not as a general thing.
And then the thing is, right, not as a general thing.
Government over to the singularity.
Whoever owns the algorithm is
that one so well for control.
For sure.
Does it though?
I vote singularity. Singularity 2028.
So the thing is, though, he calls it techno-feudalism because basically, like, you know, Meta and Google, there are overlords. Twitter as well. So I feel like that's the bad guy in this episode. It's not even the governor. It's the fact that like Google has bought out all of San Francisco and regular people can't live there. You gotta go to Oakland.
Fun fact, medieval peasants worked less hours and got more vacation time than American workers.
Yep.
All hail Google.
Yeah.
And you know, so he brings up a crazy thing. Like,
I don't want to go work in a field for a lord, but I mean, still, 8 weeks of vacation time would be nice.
I'm looking for the shipyards in Alameda.
The Lord probably cared about you more than your boss does.
Hard to replace a peasant. There's only so many peasants around.
Of the land that you were like tilling for him.
And Lord.
We are basically just tilling land for the big companies.
Also, have you tried, if you're looking for the shipyards in Alameda, maybe you should try across the bay in Alameda.
Yeah.
How do they not know where Alameda is?
I don't like your hat.
It's a nice hat. Cisco, there's no need to be rude about it.
Another piece of great writing. This bad guy, the ghost, he's like, give me one reason why I should listen to you.
Oh, look,
Cisco's
packing heat again.
Like, Picard would not have done that.
I love Angry Cisco.
Picard would have
Angry Cisco's my favorite Cisco. Captain Picard would be like, oh, BC, you must understand political power does not flow through the barrel of a gun.
Hawk is in full character right now.
It absolutely does. It 100% absolutely does flow from the barrel of a gun.
Well, go back to TNG and tell him that.
He's angry here too, by the way, against Vin.
Yes, Cisco. Excellent.
No, this is a great thing. It's like...
Patrick Stewart isn't half the actor Avery Brooks is.
No, we can't say that.
But
Cisco yelling.
But Patrick Stewart isn't really as good at being angry as Avery.
This
Then
line
Gene
right
Luke
here
takes a burst of buckshot to the chest.
Are we getting jowly?
It's real. It's real.
Yes. It's not linear. But this whole dialogue is as good as any Jean-Luc Picard rhetoric. You know, it's like you caring about these people would be a start. Some, but like empathy or compassion for the people you're serving, because you stopped caring a long time ago.
That's the theme of the episode. Just care.
Okay, so we got Woodstock in this episode. I don't think the writers knew what decade we were in.
Oh, this is where O'Brien does the peace sign. Love this.
Yeah, this.
And
oh yeah,
He should do the live long
This is a
and
great
prosper
bet.
sign.
by the way, at Occupy, the hippies were just like that. They just like make love anywhere.
Kira, tell them you
At
broke your nose. They're gonna be
Occupy.
so curious.
It's the guy in the
At
van.
anywhere, Woodstock. wherever.
O'Brien's
But I'm just saying I
smile
saw it
makes
too.
me feel discomforted.
I may have hooked up on a sleeping bag.
Fortunately, they're stones, so they don't
One
care.
hand in my pocket, the other doing a peace sign.
yeah.
But
It's like, whoa, this is just kicking in.
this isn't the '60s, so why do we get a mystery mobile?
No, they're or what are their names?
It was the '60s.
Kira
That's the
and
whole
Miles
point.
are jumping
Oh,
to
that was
different
the
time periods to try to
wrong-
find them. Try to find which one they went to.
Thank you. Okay, I missed that. Even though I just watched it a couple of days ago.
We've said it a million times. It is impossible to follow the plot of any
Hands off
episode
my
in a watch-along
McMuffin.
format.
A little bit. You know, we would have had a hostage die of diabetes if it wasn't for Bashir. So Gabriel Bell.
See, it's
Cisco
more
is not
predestination paradox.
Yeah.
All the
Yeah.
hostages survived, Cisco said. But who else would be here?
Oh, yeah.
BC's not going to administer it.
Yeah.
Well, they humanized the security guard here too. I got 2 kids.
Is that his actual family picture? Because that does look very authentically like 70s.
That is authentic. Yeah. Yeah. It's
I
the
mean, that's
90s,
definitely
right?
someone's real picture. I'm just wondering, is it his real
Yeah.
picture?
It does look like a 70s picture, though. You're right.
Yeah, looks real. It's real.
It's real.
It's real.
It's real.
No, okay, but this episode is too real. I gotta say.
It's a fake.
It's not a fake.
It's a
Fake
fake.
Gabriel Bell. So yes, it is a fake.
Do we have that on the soundboard? We should have. It's a fake.
Who
on the
has real
soundboard.
photos
We
in their
should not.
pocket in 2024?
Yeah, like I can see why the people living in the district don't have cell phones. I
That's
could
true.
see the cops confiscating them as part of processing.
Mm,
But why
we
don't the
couldn't
cops
fathom-
have cell phones here? That's just weird.
Why don't we have payphones? It's kind of weird. Oh yeah. So we're gonna have the Olympics in LA, and we're just gonna push the homeless people off the streets.
Oh, is
so
that why
that's what we
Gavin's
do.
doing it?
That's why that's what everybody
Team us
does
up.
when the Olympics comes to town. You build a stadium you're gonna use it once, and you dispossess all the slums in the neighborhood.
Is it one of those stories of, yeah, the government's granting them $300 million to build
They
this
just
stadium,
mistimed
but in
the
unrelated
resurgence
news, we
of
have to cut $300
Polaroid
million
by a
from
few
these social
years.
programs.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely happened a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I read a really interesting idea. We should just have the Olympics in one city, winter and summer, like or 2 cities, and that's it. Because it's
We
way
should-
too much money to be rebuilt.
We should just build a platform in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and we have the Olympics there.
Oh, we could use the garbage patch. It's free real estate. We already have a platform.
That's true. It's
Did she just sneak in?
Yeah.
This Action Barbie is gonna.
She
is
just
this
called Fruit
Howard.
Saw an ITS
what's his
and
name?
dirty at all.
Grint Howard.
She
Clint
says
Howard.
she
Clint
sneaked in
Howard.
through the sewage system.
Also, yeah, how
I like
she
her
is
in this
shockingly
outfit.
clean for going through. She has a little
Yeah.
smudge on her face, but
The
Her dress
Olympics
is
is a social show asterisk T-shirt wherever it goes.
Clint Howard stalking her.
I mean,
not a Shastar show.
can you blame
Hey.
him?
Amazing thing. A lot of people whose government censor them are able to use Facebook and Twitter And
With the
Wonder if
proxy.
she bumped into the
A
Teenage
VPN.
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
This stream's gonna turn into an ad for Surfshark.
I mean, they're not
ExpressVPN.
paying.
They gave her pizza.
You know,
Now-
you know,
Surfshark
ExpressVPN is the
VPN
preferred
I
VPN
use.
of Ryan's edits.
I
to
do
express
actually use Surfshark.
dissident opinion.
I use TIA.
So, a little sexual harassment of the one woman who shows up in the scene, well, other than the hostage.
But BC's such a nice guy. If you know what I mean.
Yes.
Biddle? No,
Biddle
Vin, no,
Coleridge.
Vin, you're right. Biddle. Is that a real name? Who's named Biddle?
His parents hated him.
Biddle is a surname, but is Biddle... I'm trying to find any record of someone with the first name Biddle. Biddle family, Biddle last name. I Google search Biddle first name, and all I can come up with is people's last name of Biddle. I think Star Trek made that up.
Must be like book.
I mean, I do know people who had last names for first names. Like they were
But you
named
can never trust
after.
those people.
I'd like to say that though I never used TikTok, the government wanted to ban it here a few years ago and now it's where the government is concentrating its non-press releases.
Oh, everything. But yeah, you can
it's-
never trust
yeah.
someone whose first name is a last name or who has two first names. They're just inherently sketchy.
I did know a Dan Paul.
Nope, they're a bad
But,
person. I don't know who they are, but don't trust them.
I guess we should count it as a successful prediction. The Arab Spring in the Middle East, starting from Tunisia, was done by citizens who were just fed up with their government, and they just took it to the internet. Starting with one guy who's a fruit
Jean-Luc?
vendor. A police person was like, you don't have a permit to sell fruit." So he's like-
Jean-Luc is a single first name with a hyphen. That's different.
Yeah, and Jean-Luc is common enough. Like you can have Jean-Marie as a guy's name in France.
Yeah, you can have a two-word first name. That's fine. It's just when your like personal name is a first name, and when your family name is
Kennedy.
a first name.
Like
That's
my first name's
sketchy.
Kennedy. It's like you couldn't come up with anything else other than that famous last name.
So what do you got against Marky Mark?
So
Is
the
he
Arab
actually
Spring was
evil?
done
And
when
it was
a fruit vendor in
celebrated to have an
Tunisia.
uprising via the internet till it started happening
Right.
here.
Right. So a fruit vendor in Tunisia set himself on fire because he's like, I'm just trying to make a living and I can't afford all this government and police harassment just for me trying to feed my family. And every other country in the Arab world was like, hey, how come we have the same dictator for 40 years? Don't you think it's time we just
Maybe
get
we
somebody
should
new?
coup?
Like, can you
Oh,
leave?
we need all new
But there's
dictators.
nobody here, says
Namey MC
somebody.
Nameface.
I mean, I was on board with the revolutions,
Clint,
but
my
some of them
man.
didn't work out. Syria, 200,000 people died, so that's not fun.
Clint is very Jeffrey Combs-esque. He keeps
He's more
showing
like
up in all
Bo
the different
from-
shows.
Bo from To Kill a Mockingbird. He's a little bit slow, but he's the only friend we have right now.
He's not even wrong. There are aliens watching Earth. Okay, I don't know about that.
It's not
part.
much
I
of
think
a
he
bunch
made
of
that one up.
But you're one of the good ones.
Yeah.
Seems legit. I trust her. See, Clint's a good guy. Clint's cool.
Guys, this is so sad though. Like mentally, all
The
ill
algorithm
people.
is definitely watching though.
Funny thing is, Dax isn't lying at all in the scene.
I love that.
She's protecting the
anytime
Earth from its
someone-
enemies. Capitalism.
Bullshits by just telling the truth. It's great.
Man, that outfit. Amazing.
I hate everything she wore in this episode. That thing in her hair. I mean, I guess we're not used to seeing them in mid 21st century clothing, but
Well, alleged mid 21st century clothing.
look, Jordan Peterson wears suits like that all the time.
Oh God.
She only lays with Worf.
And I
hang
think
on, that's strictly not true. What about Captain Baudet?
I wouldn't want to
The
be
Gallimax,
crawling
that's
through
what
the
it's
sores
called.
in a tiny skirt and tights.
Ugh.
yeah.
Is there a different outfit you would be comfortable crawling in the sewers with? I guess a hazmat suit, perhaps.
I mean, like you said, Ryan, it doesn't matter, right? Because you're still going to be in muck. The suit's not going to be too protective.
I mean, it'll help if you're in a hazmat suit.
A little.
See, Chris Brenner's not a... He's a good guy. He just didn't... He sort of lost touch for a
Oh
bit, but
yeah,
he's coming
my
back
usual
to it.
sewer crawling outfit.
Wait, I know who he is. Brock Pierce. He's the guy from the child actor who became a crypto
Sewers
millionaire.
aren't or
and
shouldn't be
ran
that
for
dirty.
president. That's who our hero is in this episode.
What does... Let me see if I can find a picture of the San Francisco sewer system.
That's a serious statch.
I see that's L85A1 and that's an MP5K.
The crazy thing is they mentioned here like unemployment gets out of control too. So it's really not just even like a housing situation.
All the women in the future wear black pantyhose.
They don't have jobs in the future, which is it was looking that way for a minute.
No, Gavin, don't do it.
No.
So we go
Gavin.
back to flip phones.
Here we
I
go.
don't know
Yeah,
what he's
she.
thinking here.
I'm surprised they didn't give her a rotary phone.
Yes. I miss my old razor.
Rotary phone.
It's a 90s flip phone. It's bad.
I have.
was gonna say,
I
yeah.
have,
A
You
flip
got your
phone.
timeline a little wrong there.
I have the Motorola Razr. I had the Motorola Droid, the first Droid, and then the Motorola Razr Droid. Droid Razr.
I
You see,
actually
this would
have
have
a
been the
flip
Then I
better
have
way
phone.
to determine
Samsung
where they
Galaxy
came,
Z
where they
Flip
went
3.
to. Hop to
Foldables
points quite
count.
far apart in your list and go,
They're
well,
folding
there's a
phones
change
now.
here, but there's not a change there. So it must
And
be
hop
between these 2
halfway
points.
between those two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Though I wouldn't expect it to usually be that easy to tell. I mean, what happened to them? He says it's not just the worst period in American history; it's the worst period in Earth history.
Yeah, for sure.
What did they see?
No, I mean,
Earth has been.
I'm
Earth
I'm
has
a
been
little
pretty
depressed. No, but you put all the mentally ill people in a single part of the district and you don't give them any help. That's pretty low.
Is he wearing
That's a low
Smiley's
point
outfit?
Bad.
for
Is he?
any civilization.
You put all the mentally ill people in one place. They start doing Star Trek watch-alongs. Oh.
Hang on, I'm looking
up.
Okay, I have a picture of Smiley pulled up. That is Smiley's
Where's my
outfit.
quad
No,
cycle?
No, it's not. It's not. It's similar to Smiley's outfit. There, I just posted a picture of Smiley in the
Bingo.
Discord. It's similar to Smiley, but it's not Smiley.
Hey, we're talking baseball. By the way, 99 Yankees. They're that's too much. Oh, it's only 97 or
Ryan, your watch-alongs make my deflector dish emit at full power.
What?
Okay. I don't know what that means.
I mean, what did you think was going to happen?
I mean, they knew this was going to happen. I think
London
everybody
Kings,
here
baby.
knew this was going to happen. I bet even BC knew it.
Oh, you know cucumber.
This is Cisco cocking that gun now. I'm just never gonna get old.
But he's talked it so many times. He's not injected any shell casings.
Surely the kill
People
drones
don't
should have got him up
understand.
on the roof.
All
Look,
Cisco
Cisco's
does is
never
keep
handled
cocking
a
that
traditional
shotgun.
firearm. He's doing what he's seen in Hollow programs.
Maybe
There
he's
can't be
taking,
any shells left.
maybe he's always
Buck Bokai for
taking the
life
shell
clapping
out of the
hand
chamber
sign.
and putting it back in the magazine tube.
I mean, at least we've not seen him talk it twice in the same scene. That is fair
Right.
enough.
Right.
Is every single ghost wearing the same hat, by the way? I saw a different one just run by and he has the same hat.
For sure.
But this
He's
is
mellowed a lot.
symbolizing that he's no longer a ghost. Now he's integrated into society. For
Hey
all
kid,
of, a minute.
take my smelly hat.
Now, now
Well,
he's
the
doing it
bolt-
for,
I don't think
for
the bolt-
cause.
I don't think the bolt even moved when he did that.
But it's so
But
dramatic,
Bashir,
though.
when Bashir and Cisco
Pork
change
pie
clothes,
hats are part of the uniform.
they say we smell like the rest of them. So basically, everybody's clothes are smelling in this district. It's not just the hat. You get used to the smell of the hat.
He would not be used to a weapon requiring ammunition.
Oh, okay, I didn't
What
misremember.
for guns and these in
I
terms
thought
of the
I was
effects
going
they're
crazy.
doing?
I remember them playing like futuristic, not exactly laser sounds, but pew pew sounds in general. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Except they're MP5s, so it's just regular
Come
gunshots.
quietly, or they'll be trouble.
All right, so Cisco should
Pew
have
pew
about 20
noises.
bullets in him if this was anything close to real life.
Guns don't kill people, gimmies do.
Yeah.
I don't know. This seems like a reasonable.
Was
use
this
of
written
force.
before or after Waco?
Hang on.
I think this was before.
Waco was 94.
right?
This is 97 or 99.
Oh, okay. It's after.
Waco is 1993. Past tense
Oh,
aired
DS9.
1995.
Ambo Jitsu masks.
So it is after, for sure.
Oh, okay. So,
So
they,
it probably was probably
Ghosts are just a
part of the
symptom of the
inspiration for this
disease.
episode.
the Yankees were on such a roll in the 90s. So they did a good job predicting the 99 team being the best.
We
I mean,
we lost Webb.
That's not a. They were not out on a limb.
It's not a prophetic.
This also goes back to
Ways with the red
Prodigy's
and white
Prime Time
hazard tape
rules,
on the
where
uniforms.
you can change the small things, but as long as the big stuff remains the same. So rather than Bell dying, it's Webb who dies.
Webb? Who's Webb?
Are you sure? Has it become the web
What do you
riots
mean,
then?
Who's Webb? Webb was the guy next door, the plant manager.
Okay, the Tim.
Yeah.
Also, Gabe does die, quote unquote, because
Dick
Yeah, he
Miller
does.
is truly the MVP of this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. But there's a funny thing, right? Like, do you exist if you don't have papers? If your ID
Yes.
is not in some kind of database, then you're not on paper, therefore you don't exist. That's the weird thing that I find the root of all these problems. Like, as soon as
I
you
mean,
start
putting people in a database
died.
doesn't mean you're treating them well. There have been some infamous databases.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, like, if you're too dependent on the database, you're kind of just treating people like numbers, and anything could happen after that.
I mean, I don't know if that's true. I mean, I think
So it is Bell who dies in the
Yeah,
show.
well, no, Bell doesn't die. They say he dies,
Yeah, that's
then-
the point. Is that
and then they let him walk out of the city because he doesn't have papers.
wait, why did Cisco give him his ID card instead of Bell's ID card? Because he actually has Gabriel Bell's ID.
Oh, true. True.
But now there's just a picture of Benjamin Cisco in the historical database.
That's true.
wait? He gave him sisters.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
gave him Bell's
Because
ID.
in the later episode... Wait,
Kinda weird, huh?
he had to have given him...
He
Gabriel
gave him.
No, he
Bell's
had to have
ID.
given him Bell's. Yeah.
But that doesn't make... Then why is Cisco's picture the one in the database?
Right. I guess maybe it was a live feed from the broadcast of the net.
Go get cosmetic surgery to look like me.
Wow, why? That doesn't make sense. Also, where did
Where's
this picture
the-
come from?
Yeah.
Because
Where's
Cisco
the-
was always Bell. It is a paradox.
Where's
he
the
recorded a
temporal
picture of his face with his
investigation?
Google
But
Glass.
he wasn't actually Bell.
They took a new headshot just
Like,
because he
even
felt
in,
cute.
Even in the time loopy version of
Ha,
things,
ha,
he
ha,
wasn't
ha.
actually, in fact,
Like
Gabriel
surveillance
Bell.
video
He
stream
was
grab.
Gabriel Bell, but last week it was.
There is a real Gabriel Bell, though. There's...
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
In the original timeline, was Gabe Bell just some rando who got stabbed and died? I don't know, man. I don't know. They're excellent episodes, though, but they're over now. It's done. All right. That is the... Unless a new Star Trek episode comes out changing this, that is the last
This
time
is real.
something in Star Trek happens on a defined date until first contact in April
After all OC,
2063.
this Bashir still doesn't get it. Despite his augmented intelligence.
Strange New Worlds is probably going to
Perhaps
set a
it's an
couple of
AI
things up,
created
but
effect.
yes.
Because, like, we know the Irish reunification happens this year, but we didn't have a definite date. So we can't say, like, oh, yeah, this is the day. We need to watch this episode. That's not going to happen. It's just the Irish reunification of 2024.
Well, we could just
Which is also
celebrate it
actually
on
not
New Year's Eve.
IRL, but-
Spoken like a true UK person, I guess.
No, it's not going to happen because of the political stuff going on.
What about Strange New
There is-
Worlds?
there's
They
a
go
slim
back to fake
chance,
Toronto in
but I don't see it.
20204.
2024.
Boy, did we have a defined...
Basically, what I'm saying is that the Northern Irish government is lined more with the UK government than it is the Irish government at the moment.
Of course it is.
Well, no, that's not a given. Like there is a very active movement to do unification, but it currently isn't.
That's why I said it's unlikely, but
the ball isn't in
isn't
in the court.
The parliament. The Parliament in Northern Ireland currently has a Republican leader. The Unionist Party is in a minority
Also,
at this point. They reopened.
Picard and La
Storm
Serena gang go
Belfast,
back to
whatever.
2024 as well.
I
Stormont.
think that was 2022. Was that 22? Or was that 24? In any case,
Gavin
yes,
Newsom,
I'm specifically
2024.
looking for events that occurred on this occurred on October 5th, 2035.
Yeah, not
Let's
just a
just
year.
forget about Picard.
I want to have a specific
There are
thing to
24
come in
lights.
place. So the Strange New Worlds was called Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow. Let me see if that had a specific date or if that was just 2024 or whatever.
First contact day.
Yeah, first contact is April 4th, 2063.
Yeah,
that has
April
the defined
5th.
day.
Because they arrived April 4th. The next day was April 5th.
Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Where's even the memory alpha for this thing? There it is. In universe.
This is
no.
also the year Marty McFly. Wait, wrong thing.
The Strange New Worlds Toronto in universe was 2022, so we already missed it.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Thank you, Ryan.
It's because it was written and shot in 2022.
Okay. This stream is over. Next week we will resume with Discovery, the season 2 finale, and then we'll go to the future.
Yep, just 2 episodes of the finale, if I remember rightly.
Is it? Maybe. Yes, that sounds right.
Thanks, Ryan and gang.
All right, we're done.
Yes.
Everyone,
Have a
go
good one.
away. Go
Take
watch
control.
the Toronto episode or something.
Old man Peabody had this crazy idea about breathing.